Sudden clingy behavior, toddler development. Yesterday, your child was fine, independent, happy, playing on their own. They could sit alone with their toys. They didn't need you every second. But today, everything changed. They're suddenly clingy. They follow you everywhere. They cry when you leave the room. They hold onto your leg like they might lose you forever. And the question that quietly sits in your mind is, what did I do wrong? Maybe you wonder if you spoiled them. Maybe you think you gave too much attention. Or maybe you worry something is wrong with your child. But here's the truth, most parents don't hear enough. Sudden clingy behavior is not random. It is deeply connected to toddler development, brain growth, emotional regulation, and key developmental milestones. And once you understand what's really happening inside your child's brain, everything begins to make sense. You stop reacting with frustration and start responding with clarity, patience, and confidence. Why children become clingy. Let's begin with something every parent needs to hear clearly. If your child is clingy right now, you are not doing anything wrong. You didn't create this. You didn't spoil your child. Clingy behavior is a completely normal part of baby growth and toddler development. In fact, it is often a sign that your child's emotional system is working exactly as it should. Because when a child becomes clingy, they are communicating something very important. I feel uncertain, and you are my safe place. From a neuroscience perspective, this behavior is strongly connected to secure attachment. A child who seeks comfort from a parent is not weak. They are wired to connect, and this connection is what builds long-term emotional strength. But even when you understand this logically, it doesn't make daily life easier, because clingy behavior can look like not being able to leave the room without crying, constant need for attention, intense reactions at daycare drop-off, bedtime struggles that never seem to end. And over time, this becomes exhausting. This is why understanding the why behind clingy behavior matters so much. Because once you understand the milestones, you stop seeing it as a problem and start seeing it as a phase with purpose. Babies, 8-18 months. Understanding separation anxiety. Around 8 to 10 months, your baby reaches one of the most important baby milestones. This is when their brain develops something called object permanence. Before this stage, if you left the room, your baby believed you were gone completely. Out of sight meant out of existence. But now, their brain has grown. Now, they understand, you still exist, even when I can't see you. This is a major step in baby growth. But it also introduces something new. Fear. Because now your baby also understands, you can leave. And this creates separation anxiety in babies. This is why a calm baby can suddenly become clingy overnight. They cry when you leave. They panic when they lose sight of you. They may refuse to be held by others. This is not bad behavior. This is the brain learning about connection and loss. Your baby is not trying to control you. They are trying to understand a new reality. Real-life situation. You walk to the bathroom. Your baby starts crying immediately. You might think, it's just a few seconds. But to your baby's brain, it feels like, my safe person is gone. I don't know if they're coming back. That uncertainty creates stress. And stress leads to clingy behavior. What actually helps? Never sneak away. It may feel easier, but it teaches your baby that you disappear unpredictably. Instead, create a simple goodbye routine. Wave, smile, sigh, mom will be back, even if they cry. Because consistency builds trust. Practice short separations, leave briefly, and return. This teaches the brain a powerful lesson. Separation is temporary. And over time, this reduces separation anxiety in babies. Stay calm, because your baby doesn't just watch what you do, they feel what you feel. This phase is not a setback. It is a critical part of baby milestones and emotional development. Toddlers, 18 3 years, peak clingy phase. If your child is between 18 months and 3 years old, you are in the most intense stage of clingy behavior. This is the peak of toddler development when emotional needs are high, and it can feel overwhelming because toddlers live in a constant internal conflict. They want independence, but they still need you deeply. They want to explore, but they don't feel fully safe doing it alone. Real life situation: at the park, your toddler runs away confidently, but suddenly they turn around, panic, and run back to you crying. Nothing happened. But internally, something shifted. Their brain moved from curiosity to uncertainty. And when uncertainty rises, they return to safety. You. This is how development works. The science behind it: during this stage, the emotional brain is very active, but the part of the brain responsible for control and regulation is still immature. So when emotions rise, they overflow. This creates anxiety for kids. And when children feel overwhelmed, they don't solve it. They seek connection. What increases clingy behavior? Any disruption to routine: starting daycare, a new sibling, changes at home, sleep transitions. These events challenge your child's sense of safety. What actually works? Validate emotions. I know it's hard when I leave. Create predictable routines. Routine gives the brain a sense of control. Connect before separation. Even 5-10 minutes of focused attention can reduce clingy behavior. Avoid shaming. Words like needy or babyish can weaken secure attachment. Because children don't become independent by being pushed away. They become independent by feeling safe first. Preschoolers, 3-5 years, regression and common triggers. At this stage, many parents feel confused because things were improving, and suddenly, they're not. Your child becomes clingy again. They don't want to sleep alone. They follow you everywhere. They become more emotional. This is called regression, and it is a normal part of toddler development and early childhood. Why regression happens? Regression is the brain's way of coping with stress. When something feels overwhelming, the child returns to behaviors that previously felt safe. Common triggers: starting school, family changes, fearful experiences, nightmares. At this age, imagination becomes very strong, but logic is still developing. So when a child imagines something scary, their brain treats it as real. This increases anxiety for kids. And when anxiety rises, clingy behavior returns. What actually helps? Talk to your child regularly. Not just when problems happen. Ask open-ended questions. What made you happy today? What made you worried? Reassure without reinforcing fear. Say, "You're safe, I'm here." Set boundaries gently. Comfort does not mean removing all limits. Increase connection time, because emotional connection during the day reduces clingy behavior at night. School age, 5-9 years. Underlying causes. At this age, clingy behavior should decrease, so when it suddenly appears again, it deserves attention, because now, clingy behavior often signals something deeper. Common causes: bullying, academic stress, social struggles, exposure to inappropriate content. Children now experience more complex anxiety for kids, but they may not have the language to explain it. So instead of saying, "I'm anxious," they become clingy. What actually works? Ask better questions. Instead of, "How was school?" try, "Did anything make you uncomfortable today?" Stay connected with teachers. Monitor media and observe physical symptoms, because anxiety often shows up in the body first. Preteens, 9-12 years. Emotional pressure. This stage is often misunderstood, because preteens seem older, but emotionally, they are under intense pressure. They face social comparison, academic expectations, digital influence, identity confusion. All of this increases anxiety for kids. Sometimes, they don't understand what they feel, so they return to what feels safe. You. What actually helps? Create safe, low-pressure moments to talk. Car rides work well. Take their digital world seriously. And watch for warning signs: withdrawal, mood swings, loss of interest. Stay present, even when they act distant, because connection still matters deeply. When to worry: warning signs. Most clingy behavior is normal, but some signs require attention. If clingy behavior lasts more than 4-6 weeks, interferes with daily life, includes extreme anxiety for kids, Comes with changes in sleep or eating. Trust your instincts. Seeking help is not failure. It is responsible parenting. Recap all development stages. Babies. Separation anxiety in babies reflects key baby milestones. Toddlers. Peak clingy stage in toddler development. Preschoolers. Regression due to imagination and stress. School age. Clingy behavior may signal deeper issues. Preteens. Emotional pressure increases anxiety for kids. Every stage has meaning. Every behavior has a reason. Closing. The true meaning of clinginess. Here is the most important truth. Clingy behavior is not a problem to fix. It is a message to understand. Your child is not trying to control you. They are trying to feel safe. And every time you respond with patience, you strengthen secure attachment. That attachment becomes the foundation for confidence, emotional resilience, independence later in life. Yes, it is exhausting. Yes, it is overwhelming. But you are not just dealing with clingy behavior. You are shaping how your child experiences the world, safe or unsafe. And when your child comes to you again and again, it means they trust you. That is not weakness. That is love. And that is something incredibly powerful.